Hey folks, Trubie here with another Dice Masters preview. We're taking a look at the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set, Heroes in a Half Shell. Before I get started, we've got to send another huge thanks to our friends at WizKids for sending this my way to preview. Like the last set, this is a completely self-contained set with everything you need to play right out of the box. One change with this set that a lot of people asked for is the clear lid that we can see here. It doesn't seem like much, but it's a really nice addition to help keep your dice in place. So thank WizKids for listening to feedback. We've also again got the setup for 4 players, and I actually really like these new little mini playmats. I think they're really cute with the little battle scenes on them. You got Michelangelo versus Bebop, Donatello versus Rocksteady, Raphael versus Krang, and Leonardo versus Shredder. So let's dive right in here and get to what really matters, the cards. To get started here, we'll just do the basic actions. To start off, we've got Haymaker. This is essentially a functional reprint of Anger Issues. Target character gets +3 attack and Overcrush, and the global pay Fist and give a character +1 attack. This is a longtime favorite of mine, and I'm glad to see it reprinted. Me and the Kobolds loved hitting that +1 attack as much as we could. Next up is Ingenious Tactics. Prevent all combat damage to each of your attacking character dice. It's a strong ability, but the 5 cost feels a little high when I'd much rather be buying a character at that cost. But still, it's not too shabby. And now we've got Momentum. Momentum here may be the all-star from this set. It's a new one. Roll any number of dice from your prep area and place them in your reserve pool. And on double burst, prep a die beforehand. Using this and Rip Hunter's chalkboard together could make for some easy buy and immediately field action, especially if you're using like Parallax to make sure you roll it on the face you want. I guarantee we're going to see people coming up with a lot of really neat uses of this card. Another functional reprint, and one of the most widely used basic actions in the game, Mutation, says swap target character die in the field zone with target non-sidekick character in that player's use pile. Spin that character to level 1. This does not trigger when fielded effects. And Global, pay Mask, spin one of your character dice down a level to spin another character die up a level. This is essentially Polymorph. This has long been one of the most used basic actions I can think of, and has been used to aid getting big characters in the field reliably, and can also be used defensively to remove your opponent's characters that are causing you problems. That global also always comes in handy to let you control your character's levels. So this is a really great one. So now we've got Mysterious Shredder Transport. This is another new one for the set. Each player must sacrifice 1 character die. I was thinking this was actually a reprint of something from Amazing Spider-Man because of the sacrifice mechanic, but I was actually mistaken. This one could be interesting. If you can KO most of your opponent's chaff, like the sidekicks or small characters, and just leave them with their heavy hitters, or like an Oracle or Dwarf Wizard, and force them to move to the used, while you're just moving like a sidekick or something, that's pretty handy. And there are also some things that allow you to take advantage of what's in your used pile, so I think this one could be deceptively good in the right team build. Another interesting new one is Nefarious Broadcast. Cancel any active effects of previously used global abilities. Global abilities cannot be used. This is a bit of a double-edged sword. You prevent yourself from doing anything like pumping your characters with, globals at least. You can still throw a basic action or something to pump your characters. But you also prevent globals like Distraction, so you can make sure that your attacking characters get through. Or, more importantly in my mind, it stops your opponent from using the Professor X Global during your turn. It's also nice and cheap, at only 2 cost. So now we've got a Speedy Delivery, which emulates Enrage. Target character die must attack at its next opportunity. Spin that character die up 1 level if able. And Global, pay Bolt, target character gets +1 attack until end of turn. I've simply just always been a fan of these pump globals, and this is no exception. And the action itself, it has its moments. And now a functional reprint of the ever-popular Transfer Power. Michael Lee made me a fan of this one. Here we have Splinter's Teachings. Roll target character die from your use pile. If it rolls a character face, field it at no cost. Otherwise, place it in your bag. And Global, pay Shield, swap the attack of target character die you control and target opposing character die. The action itself is a win-win. You're either fielding a character out of your use pile for free, or it's getting moved to your bag so you can get it out and rolling it quicker. Then with the Global, it's great defensively and offensively. You can swap your sidekick's attack onto your opponent's incoming Grodd die, or your attacking sidekick your opponent chose not to block is suddenly 8-powered. Reclaim. Move a die from your use pile to your prep area. This one is very similar to Civil War's Escape Incarceration, but it lacks the resistance ability, but it comes in costing 1 less. I've always liked this card, but I've never really gotten it to work out for me. I'd still rather use, at least in this set, Splinter's Teachings or Mutation to get characters out in the field faster, but this could potentially work with Momentum. I just feel like I'd probably be flooding myself with actions if I tried to use both of those. And our last basic action is another functional reprint of one of the most popular basic actions in Dice Masters, Unstable Canister. Deal 2 damage to target character die or player, and on double burst, deal extra damage to a character die equal to the level of your highest level turtle-affiliated character in the field zone. And global, pay Bolt, deal 1 damage to target character die. Almost the same as D&D's Magic Missile, with the obvious change being that it works with turtles rather than adventurers. The damage on the basic action is always good and can win you the game, but the global is one of the most useful in the game for taking out these low defense blockers, or targeting your own characters to trigger abilities such as Hulk Green Goliath or Batgirl Babs. And there we have all of our basic actions. These are all pretty great. It's kind of like a greatest hits album for Dice Masters basic actions. In my video overview for the first Ninja Turtle set, I stressed that it was a nice teaching tool and came with a lot of really good tools to get players started. This set, though, you hear a lot of new players asking, what should I buy first? And the answers are usually like, oh, you should get World's Finest because it has Oracle, and the D&D Battle for Faerun has the best basic actions, but Faerun Under Siege has Bard and Cloudkill. It's kind of a long answer to what should be a simple question. I'm telling you now, Heroes in the Half-Shell is the definitive must-buy for new players. With its great selection of basic actions, its potential for solid play in multiple formats, and some exceptionally strong characters, which we'll get to next week, this is really just a fantastic set that shouldn't be missed by players new and old alike. But as I said, next week I'll go over some of the great characters in the set, and now I think we've finally got a good, viable Turtles affiliation team. It might not be a Tier 1 WKO winner, because it's just not quite fast enough, but it's a darn fun team that I think you'll enjoy tooling around with at casual events. So, until next week.